Hi friend, welcome back. Today we are working on our snippet roll and we are going to turn that into tabs. I hope you'll join me, craft along if you'd like. Hi, it's Carrie from Created Me Creative and welcome to my cozy little corner. In part 5, we put all of our soft edges on. And so today we're carrying on that same soft edge feel with this snippet roll. I've got some supplies here that we can use, some tickets, some circle punched out from paper, little butterflies, words, some scripture. I've added some flowers over here. I'm going to add the color pink. I like pink when it goes with the blues and the tans and the taupes. I have a little dish of extra stuff here as well. We've got some lace, we've got some string, just little additions. And also I have those pieces that we cut off of our ruffles that we can add as well. And then of course, you know, the seam binding and the ribbon and all of that stuff. So today we are going to just work on that. Now, I will use my mat, my glass mat here, because I know that we have approximately 4 inches for each tab. So I can line it up here accordingly and make sure that I've left myself enough space to cut between as we create. I do have some here that I made for a project a while back, and they were leftover extras. So this is kind of what we are going to be doing. It's the same actual base. I had enough left over and I just tucked it away and found it in my stash when I was creating this journal. So there's a couple of them there. It's kind of what we're going with, that kind of feel there. And we will just use the supplies that we have. So if you would like to gather some supplies for yourself, craft along with me. Okay. So we'll just start layering. We have all these pieces. I like to use something larger at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to work in this section here. And we will audition each piece, just so that we get an idea of what it will look like before we put it together. Now the other thing is too, and I should probably consider that, is if I want it to be a tab, we really do want a piece sticking out. So maybe we actually do it more like that. I like that. And then I think we definitely need to add a little bit of the flower, because we want a little bit of the pink on everything. I think that will carry things through a little bit better. So maybe no, that's a little too big. That doesn't layer nicely. We could do something like that. And then I have these, and I could take one of these and put it right in the center. What do you think about that? I think that's a good possibility. I kind of want that flower to tie in a little better. I had some, oh, here they are. What if we bring this circle in here? definitely a little thinking process, and I sometimes overthink. That's my problem. I think I overthink. I think I want that there. I think that's what I want. And then I like that there. I'm wondering if maybe we don't need that extra piece. And then we can pop the flower in here like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just move it all up. I think that's the way I want it. Yep. Okay. We're gonna go with that. So I'm gonna pull out my vintage photo. And I think I'm gonna try and find a word or something to go here. So, but yeah, there's the first one. What do you think? I think that's very pretty. I'll trim this edge up here. And then 1, 2, 3, so 4 is about here. So we'll just come across the bottom here. And this little piece, I haven't tacked it all the way down, so it's got a little bit of flexibility. We could cut it on the angle to match that. And that is our first one done. I'm gonna find a word for this first. Okay, so I kept playing. I have the first one and the second one done now. I did find some words. This is the day, is what this one says. And that's from the scripture, this is the day that the Lord has made. And then this one is better together. And there is a Bible verse about that as well, that 2 are better than 1. And now I've been just kind of, I made these 2 too big, so the next 3 have to be 3 inches because I left too much gap in here. So we're gonna pull this one in a little closer. And I've just been auditioning these pieces. Again, just a little bit of pink. And then I thought maybe a layered flower here as well, without covering that dream big too far. And I like that the brown fabric here, which we have used as a ruffle, but picks up on this little brown bead that's on that flower there. So I think that's what the number 3 is going to look like. Just leaving a little bit of that eyelet showing, and then we have more of the lace on this side. And I'm building them all towards the right hand side simply because they are going to be tabs. You want your tabs to be on the outside. So now, because I've just pulled this off, I'm going to take this little piece, add a little bit, and I don't glue all of it down because I like to have the movement still. I don't want it to just be one dimensional. I like to have that movement. So the center will be glued down, but there'll still be that movement here and at the bottom. And then that, hopefully, when we find our page for it to go on, will stick out a little bit. Not too much, but enough that we will be able to see it. And then when we open to that page, we'll have the surprise of all the layers. And this one here is also going to stick out a little bit. I think I'm going to tuck it in underneath like that. And that way we can see that that's a heart. like that too. Okay. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and now I'm going to move this up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches left for 2 more. So we're going to do a couple of, let's see, what do I have? I have this little piece of fabric. Is there a right side and a wrong side? I think I might add that for both of them. And I'll just glue that down because it's got, actually we'll do it this way so the flowers are the right way. It's got the pinks and the blues in it. This little piece of fabric was given to me through Happy Mail from Kathleen Mower. If you haven't had a chance to watch her videos, she's with Be Again Books. She has really great tutorials, and we did a Happy Mail swap years ago, and I've been hoarding this little piece of fabric, but I think this is the perfect opportunity to use it. It's got the pinks, it's got the blues. I might be able to add these little floral pieces that might pick up on it. Maybe do one of these punched out circles. Not sure yet. And I do want to use my Walk by Faith, Not by Sight, and I want to use Jesus on each of those. I don't think I will need those ones. We got lots of little bits here though, so. But let's get this little fabric piece down first, and we'll build from there. Sometimes when I do these, I like to use my sewing machine to secure everything down, but this one, I think because some of these pieces are relatively thick, I don't want to put that through my sewing machine. I don't know how my sewing machine would react with that. Okay, so there's one layer. I think, how big are these? 1, 2.5. Those are really big. I've got one here already off. That might work as the tab. Maybe. Let's see. I could do this one for this. Kind of build them out the same way. And then, let's see what else I've got here. Got those words that I want to use. Got a couple of flower stickers. Lots of bits and pieces. And whatever we don't use, we can use for decoration on pages as well. So I'm not too worried about that. I wonder. That's going to be too busy. The sun just went in. I hope that didn't affect the camera too much. Okay, I don't mind. I think I need a color behind that, not the white. Let's try the turquoise here, that soft turquoise. Kind of matches that flower really nicely. I do like that, and it still allows for some of that flower in the, I don't know if I can add, I think that's going to be too much. We're going to keep those for some of the pages or pockets or something like that. I think maybe we could do just a tiny, oh look, that flower's got a little bit of a jewel on it. I wonder if I could pop that there. I like that. And then maybe on the bottom one, I'm gonna see if I have another pink flower that's a little bit bigger, more this size. I used one here, but I'm just gonna see if I have that. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I did find a bunch of other flowers. I found a turquoise one that is the exact same as that pink one. I really like that, but I also found a few other ones. I think I'm just gonna keep them all out for when we decorate our pockets and tags and stuff. And then I thought maybe I would add this blue heart right in here just to give it another layer. I'm not sure if I'm going to layer these ones up any more than I have. I think I may just leave them as it is. They don't all have to be overly layered. We've got some good, put that there. Got some good dimension on most of these. And I really do love these colors. Yeah, I'm gonna save those for inside the journal itself, along with these other pieces. And I think these guys, we're just gonna slide them off to the side and put them on one layer at a time. Now, this one, oh yeah, just a little bit of ink. Just a tiny bit. Sorry I'm so quiet today. I'm got a bit of a headache. So I tend to stay a little quieter when I have a headache. But a headache does not stop me from crafting. Because if anything I've learned, this is the space that healing happens. When you're in a creative space, it's just good for the soul, good for the heart. All right, I think we are done. I'm gonna let those dry for a few minutes and then we will cut them apart and see where we can place them in our book. And I'm gonna clean up a bit. Be back in a second. Okay, these have had a chance to dry. So I'm just gonna show you. There's our first one. And then our second one. Our third one. And then those last two we just worked on. And we will cut them apart now and find places in the journal. So I think this one here, we're just gonna cut right in the middle. I've got my handy dandy fabric scissors. They're so pretty, aren't they? They're really pretty. Now we just have to find a home for them in our book. Okay, so we do know that we want one in each signature. And we'll probably, I think I'm gonna start with the walk by faith, not by sight. I think. Either that or this is the day. But let's find a page that we can put it on. I was thinking the very middle. I was thinking that. And if we put it on the edge, we can pull it up so that it's even with top of the page here. Let's say we go with that one. Okay, we just tuck it in so that it's just a little past the ruffle, and now we'll know it's there. I think that will be very pretty. So we have that option, or we can go with Walk by Faith. I think I'm gonna have to get some glue up underneath that sticker. I like this one with this paper. So I think we're gonna go with that. So that will be in there. And I will glue them in on my own. We're just gonna find a home for them together. So let's go to the middle page here, because I really do think that's gonna work. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna trim that lace up too. Yeah, I like the softness of this floral with the softness of the floral in my own digital there. Okay, that one's that. Now we're moving on to the center signature. Let's see if we can find the middle page here. And I was thinking maybe this pink one on there. I like that too. This is the only one with that much pink in it, so I really do think it will work the best in the center. So we're gonna leave that one there. And then I think, well, if you know me by now, you know I like symmetry, which means that this one is going to have that. And again, that flower of this little ticket is gonna work well with the flower in my digital. And that leaves the center signature. Right there. Haven't decided what I'm doing with these strings, if I'm gonna tie it in a bow or add some beads. And then that one there. Oh, I think that's so pretty. Okay. So all of our snippet roll tabs are now in. Beautiful clusters. They really are gorgeous. I did do them cascading down this way, so each one is just a little bit farther down and the last one is at the very bottom. So I'll just show you, I'll give you a quick flip through. That's the first one. There's the second one. The third one. I love the way it layers up with the fabric in behind and the ruffles. Just plays so nicely together. Find the fourth one here. There she is. And then our last one. It turned out so nice. I did end up just tying the first and last signature into a bow. And I like the way that looks. I think it would have been too much if we'd added some dangles. So that is it for today. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming along and joining me. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you're working on. If you did join me in a craft along today, that would be wonderful. Let me know if you've done the snippet roll or if you were just working on something different while you were watching. I'd love to hear. And yeah, so next time we are going to work on pockets and tuck spots, maybe some tags. Oh, I forgot I cut that off. We're gonna find a home for that little guy too. I think I'll put him in my dish over here. And yeah, we'll work on pockets and tucks and tags. Pockets, tucks, and tags. Oh my. That's what we're gonna work on. All right, so until next time, I will see you then. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye.